So much of our movement is built to not sustain people, but to sustain ideas, to sustain work. And while that is centrally important, it does not allow dignity, right? It does not allow future. It does not allow possibility. So ESOC is a collective of college students and community members who are interested in making interventions on their campus and community and ensuring that our communities become more safe, more inclusive, and also become more transformative in how we're caring for each other, caring for our work, and the initiatives that move our work forward. We're also a movement that is really curious about how we build power together in ways that are interpersonal, but also systemically. So we really serve as a political education space. You can kind of think of ESOC as maybe the foundation, right? Before someone makes a decision on how they want to engage politically, before they find a political home. So we provide the foundations and teachings through Black feminisms, Black womanisms, transnational organizing, and also care ethics. Those are like our foundational principles of how we do our work in hopes, right, that people will find their place in our movement.
As Black feminists, we are stewards of language, we are architects of language, and we are translators. However, language is an inheritance. You have to find where it comes from. You have to find the language that actually represents what you want to do, and you have to be suspicious of language. And so I want you to trouble every single term that we have given you and to think about it from the context that makes sense for your politics.
So ESOC started at a time where abolition was really kind of at the forefront, and folks were really interested in thinking about or organizing against police through many different ways. And so we wanted to think about what would it mean to support college students, because that's what we originally started as. What would it mean to support college students and like build them up before they just jump into it in real life, in real time? And so we wanted to give them elements that came up in our own political homes so that they weren't like starting from scratch. And so I introduced care ethics because I have seen so many Black organizers really burn out, really have devastating health consequences, and also treat each other really badly. And so I wanted to create a curriculum that didn't disavow interpersonal relationships, because organizing is all about relationships at the end of the day. So I tried to think about core principles, what's the theory that they needed to know, and like what are the actual skills they need to build in order to be good organizers.
What does it look like and feel like for you to just pause and be in your body and be like, okay, so what decision am I going to intentionally make? Because care ethics, organizing, just being in the world, wanting to make change requires you to not only be committed, but it requires you to be intentional about everything you do. Every decision you make, the way that you enter a space, the energy you bring, the way you transmute that energy, everything needs to be intentional. So that's why everything that we put in front of you was very intentionally crafted.
We're developing leaders who do leadership very differently than we've seen leadership done before, because we also do leadership differently than we've ever seen, and then most of our cohorts have seen before, because they're using their understanding of self, systems, structures to then be able to exist in the world in ways that completely disrupt how things operate, because they're not just seeing the systems and structures as ways to then be able to move up the ladder, but as something that needs to be moved out of the way so that then everyone can get access to the resources, the support, and the kind of change that they want to see, not just in their local community or within their friend groups, right, but in the world at large.
I think that people's imaginations are sometimes limited because they haven't seen that somebody before them has thought about this thing. And when you think about having that document of it, it's like, it inspires somebody. It's like, well, you know, I may be afraid to try and try something new, but like when I do my research and I find that somebody was thinking about this thing, it's like they left behind a piece of information that's like, you too can do this, take this baton, go do this as well, continue that work. It's an affirmation of that work.
I'm really
proud of the growth that this program has provided for me. I feel like it pushed me past like my comfort zone and allowed me to put myself out there in a way that I would probably never would have done.
There are alternatives to the way that we're doing things as a university and also just as people. And also I identify as like an abolitionist. So I really wanted to demonstrate the ways abolition can be practiced through mutual aid and through like just showing up for people and not relying on like the university to do it for you and just like doing it yourself.
I recommend the growth that you'll experience, the challenges you'll experience, and being like, okay, are you really about this work? Or are you just saying it? Are you reading these works and taking it in and applying it to your life and questioning your other choices, right? And then alongside that journey where you're troubling your issues or what you're focusing on, are you giving yourself grace? Okay, like I don't think it's a coincidence that our first session is care ethics and like how are we laboring in the work and how are we pulling back and resting and saying, you know what, you did the best that you could at the time, Buki, and moving on from that. So do I recommend the program? Yes. Do you need to have the life capacity to take on the program? Yes, out of respect to yourself and the program's results.
Definitely really grateful for the experience of like connecting with people and like challenging my views and like having those pressure points where I really have to figure out like what are my core values and what are things that I feel like I can never compromise on and things that like I need to, you know, have some wiggle room with in order to struggle to a point of unity to achieve liberation.
Has informed the way I think about like how we can continue programs like this and like facilitate programs like this. Like, you guys have done amazing work.
Like this isn't just something I can step away from. This is something that's going to be a part of me for the rest of my life.
And so to be able to be this comfortable to speak about such serious things and, you know, express vulnerable things and being able to bring that up, I think it takes a specific people, and we've definitely been successful at that. So I do want to thank you on those aspects.
What's up next for ESOC is that we want to expand our cohort for one. We want to make sure that we have more cohort programs that are happening throughout the year and continuing to focus more on community members, not just college students. So we're in the process of fundraising and doing some development to ensure how we can sustain our work but also expand.
I believe that everybody deserves to feel safe in the world that they're in.